It's the Brad and John Show.
Brad and John Show. Today's date is the 21st of October. This is the C block, the Charlie block. John, we talked about this a few weeks back, and I've talked about it a couple times, about the fact that broadband is still not in the rural areas. And even to the point where we have, and as you know, when you do the farm show, right within our coverage area, there are quite a bit of rural area in certain parts of St. Charles County, Warren County, Franklin County, places like that. Rural area, you can't get broadband. And I said, just buy everybody a Starlink, right, John?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Why wouldn't that be the best option? I wish we knew somebody that was in the broadband industry that can speak intelligently about that issue.
I wonder who we'd know. I wonder who we could call him right now. And let's see if he answers the phone today. This is Mike Elam. Let's see if he's going to answer the phone or he's going to throw me to voicemail again like he did yesterday. 2 ringy dingies. Somehow I think, am I calling anybody who's been in a fight with other council members or things like that? No. Come on, Mike. You told me you'd answer. He's not going to answer. I'm going to voicemail, John.
Hi, this is Mike Elam. Thanks for calling. Sorry, I missed your call right now. I'll call you back in just a little bit. Thanks.
Mike, Brad Hildebrand, 314-280-8880. It's 7:46 right now. If you get this message before 8 o'clock, call me back, 314-280-8880. Okay, let's move to another topic. If he calls me back, we'll come back to that. And,
yeah, of course.
And we'll talk about that. Okay, couple other different things to talk about as far as stuff in the news. The Trump thing, did you see the deal yesterday? This guy, I know there are people just cringing whenever he does things like that. He signed the big deal with Australia. Did you read about this?
I didn't read about the Australia deal.
Okay. If you know what happened last week out of the clear blue, and I think it surprised everyone in the administration, China announced they were going to essentially start controlling their exports of rare earth minerals, which are important to our defense industry, our electronics industry, a lot of stuff like that, okay?
Yes. And the speculation, real quick, is that in Trump's upcoming negotiation with China, the primary issue will be rare earth minerals.
Right. So the deal yesterday was, and I don't know if this was put together at the last minute, this is something that was already on the back burner. Trump signed a $8.5 billion agreement with the Australian government for them to give us some of their rare earth minerals. Now, the crazy part of this is that it's not like we don't have the rare earth minerals ourselves in our country. Matter of fact, there's a lot of them in Alaska, and I believe out in Utah as well, too. The problem is, guess why we don't have access to them, John? Do you have any idea?
Because we can't, because there's environmental regulations that keep us from accessing them.
Right. Under previous administration, they essentially took a lot of area and took it off limits. And not only that, it's not necessarily the access to the rare earth minerals, it's the refining. Oh, hold on a minute.
Is that your son, Brad?
Here's Mike Elam. Let's. Hey, Mike, are you there? Mike. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Hey, Mike, do you hear me now?
Is he there now?
Yeah, do you hear me, Mike?
Maybe.
Mike?
Not sure.
Hey, Mike, do you hear me now?
I can hear you. Question is, can you hear me?
I hear you. Okay, sorry for the technical difficulties.
I could hear you the whole time.
I couldn't hear you. Okay, Mike Elam.
You're way far in the background now.
How about if I do that? Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. I called you yesterday, and then you called me back. I say, and first off, this is Mike Elam, St. Charles County council person, and yes, he is in the race for county executive, but that's not the reason we're talking about today. I'm the kind of guy that pinches a penny till Abe Lincoln screams. Okay, John? Okay, Mike? And the situation is, there's been talk about the fact that a controversy with the state of Missouri trying to essentially promote broadband in areas that it's not accessible. Now, you work at I3 Broadband, and your main business is fiber, correct?
Correct.
Now, in order for Joe Farmer, who lives, let's say he lives 3 miles off the interstate, and there's nobody within a half mile of his house, how expensive would that be to get fiber to his house?
It's about $80,000 a mile to put fiber in the ground.
So if he lived, let's say he lived 3 miles off the trunk line, is that what you call it, the trunk line for fiber? Is that what the proper term?
Correct.
Okay, if he lived 3 miles off the trunk line, it would cost what? You said 80, so it would cost
Close
what?
to $250,000 to
$250,000 to get him fiber. Okay, my point is, why doesn't the government just buy him a Starlink? You know what I'm saying?
So what you're seeing around the country is that is playing out. So when the IIJA, the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, passed in November of 21, you had $65 billion that went in to get everybody across the United States connected with high-speed broadband. But the Biden administration didn't push the money out the door by the time they went out the door. So when the Trump administration came in, they said, let's relook at this. So under the Biden administration, the preference was fiber first. So if you can do fiber, get them connected with fiber, because that is the infrastructure for the future. So where we may think, hey, we're okay right now, and doing Elon Musk's product compared to cable or compared to fiber may not be that big a difference at the moment. What the real difference is 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, you're going to have to go back and upgrade this at some point, because what's rule today may not be rule tomorrow. So what you're talking about is what the Trump administration has said, hey, let's use this in areas, not just rural Missouri, but let's use it in Wyoming and Colorado and Montana, where they have miles of people, or miles and there's no people. So they're looking at doing Starlink or something like that as a Band-Aid to get them through, and then do fiber where it makes more sense.
Well, and I understand what you're saying, Mike. And on the phone yesterday, you made a good analysis of the fact that once upon a time we were happy when we had DSL, right? DSL, oh my God, we got DSL. And now if we had DSL, some people still do, that's like super slow. But the point being is, I don't know how you do government, John. How did he call you, John? Mike, it would drive me nuts, because I'm the kind of guy that if there's a problem, I want it fixed now. I don't want it fixed a year from now or 10 years from now. And to the point where the thing that brought this up is Starlink has dropped the cost of their equipment dramatically. And there's an ad that pops on my phone all the time. I can get the Starlink equipment for $89 and pay $49 a month. My point would be the government would call up Elon Musk and say, okay, you got this deal for $89. We're going to order 10,000 of them. What's our price on 10,000 of them? And when you say, well, okay, for 10,000 units, we'll give you $35 a unit. And get what I'm saying, Mike? It's to the point where it's like it's a tremendous savings over the government throwing money. And now I understand the money would be thrown at you guys, which would benefit you for putting in fiber. But when it comes to the big picture, I'd rather have them buy some guy's Starlink rather than pay you $80,000 a mile. Get what I'm saying?
I do. I would actually take that a step further and say I would rather they not do any of it. I would rather that you let the private sector fix the problem. So when you're getting into the subsidies were supposed to be to get internet into the rural areas and help them build that infrastructure. So it's basically in the 1930s, 1940s, when the government paid to get electricity out to the farms. Because if they hadn't done that, it would have been another 10 or 20 years before electricity made its way out to the farms. So that's what the purpose of this is. It's not to get the guy connected who lives 100 miles away from anything else. That's where Starlink's going to be great. But how do you subsidize something that's already there and available right now? The whole purpose of doing that, of subsidy, is if you didn't subsidize the infrastructure build out, it wouldn't get done. You don't need to subsidize the price points that you just threw out. An $89 for equipment and $50 a month, you don't need to subsidize that. They can do that anywhere. So I don't think the government needs to subsidize Elon Musk to be able to get this done.
You know what? Mike, I agree with you 100%. I do, but that's sort of my point as well too. The government should just stay out of it. You know what I'm saying?
I completely agree with that. If you're going to build infrastructure, I understand it a little bit more. Now, my company is not playing in grant world. My company is doing 100% private pay everywhere that I3 Broadband builds in Missouri, Illinois, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. We're doing it all on our nickel, no government money. And that's the way I think that this should be done. Private industry should be doing this because, to your earlier point, we can do it cheaper and we can do it more efficiently than the government could do. Anytime the government gets involved, the way the government is set up, it's set up to go slow. It's just not set up to go quickly, and it can't pivot when it needs to pivot. It takes too long. So it's better if private industry can meet those needs and get it done, because they're going to do it more efficiently and they're going to push competition, and competition forces innovation. And when you have the innovation, that's when you see real change and real advancement happen for everybody in every industry.
Mike, I couldn't agree with you more. I promised I wouldn't talk politics, but you didn't listen to the show yesterday. I know you didn't, but I announced my run for county executive yesterday. I don't know if you heard this or not, but
Why not? Everybody else is. Congratulations.
And my platform is no taxes at all. No real estate taxes, no property taxes, no sales taxes, no utility taxes, zero taxes in St. Charles County. So what do you think? What do you think, Mike?
I think you're going to fit in well with everybody else who's jumping in that has a halfway thought out plan that says, hey, let's just get rid of all taxes and no government at all. Let's go that direction.
Mike, who could you be talking about? Who could you be talking about, Mike?
Brother, it's getting to be more than one person who's singing the same song. So I think right now we're all just kind of waiting to find out what is the county executive, the current county executive, going to do. Is he going to run? Is he going to endorse? That's where this candidate is sitting right now, is waiting for Steve to make up his mind. Once Steve makes up his mind, then that's gonna have a lot to do with this race.
Would Steve make the call to you first off and say, "Hey, Mike, I want you to know," because you've already said if he's in, you're out. Wasn't that your quote?
Yeah, and I would never run against Steve Elam. The only reason I'm in this race is because Steve said he wasn't going to run, and I think Steve has done a fantastic job over the last 20 years leading our county. I'd put our county against any in the country. I really would. I really think St. Charles County sets the bar in so many ways. And if Elam decides that he wants to do another 4 years, I will run beside him and support him the entire way, because I think he's a really great county executive, and I think he's done a great job for our county. And we've been friends for 23 years, and I would never run against him.
Mike, I agree with you. I think he's done a great job. And by the way, I have to end this by saying, damn, you look good, Mike. Keep losing the weight, dude.
Thanks, man. I'm down to 191 where I started at 274. I just did my evaluation with my trainer today at the gym. So thanks to Club Fitness, shameless plug, for helping me out.
Man, that's incredible. I'm very proud of you. Remember, I told you my story. I used to weigh 162 out of high school, and 2 years later I weighed 310. So I can really identify with your journey, and I'm very proud of you. I really am, Mike.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for all your help and support.
Have a good one. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Okay, what do you think, John?
Well, I couldn't hear any of that, but I'll listen to it on the playback and C-Block.
Maybe I should buy some new equipment that works better than this stuff.
Hey, it happens, Brad. Hey, you know what? For folks who don't know, you can go to YouTube, and you can also go to Apple Podcasts. And if you missed part of this, if you listen to it live, you can always go to YouTube or Apple Podcasts, and you can hear the replay.
John?
And that's what John's going to do today for C-Block.
I know you told me not to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about my end. I watched the numbers on the bjshow.co site. I watched the numbers on the Brad's Top 3 site. man, last couple of weeks, you and I are really, really, really getting some listeners. I'm telling you.
Have we done anything creatively new? Like, I don't know, last week, did we do anything that really spiked the numbers?
Not that I know of, but see, you told me about.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
What did we do in C Block last week, Brad?
What did we do in C Block last week? We had, didn't we have Travis Kelce on the entire week?
Now you recognize. Okay, go ahead, Bill, Brad.
No. Even this week, even yesterday's numbers. I looked at the Facebook, or not the Facebook, what the hell is it? I'm not having a good day.
Is it YouTube?
No. Just the web page numbers, because I look at the web page numbers in bjshow.co.
Yeah, and so I think somebody goes in there and actually takes low effort stuff. That's not about you, Brad, but somebody uses some basic principles of, hey, let's actually put in the time and the effort if we're going to do a show. Let's actually document it, pay attention to detail, and then we'll have pretty good search results, won't we?
John is making fun of me again. Okay.
Am I, Brad, or am I saying, hey, we together do a great job with attention to detail and investing a lot of time in this show, don't we?
I'm notorious for not having attention to detail, John. You know that
Am I
about
fishing
me.
for a compliment, or do I have to ask for acknowledgement?
It is John's attention to detail. I throw the stuff up. Let me put it this way. I'm the guy who's going to the hardware store and buying cans of paint and throwing them against the canvas. John comes in with a brush and he makes masterpieces. Would that be a good idea? Or would that be a good way of explaining it, John?
Yeah. If that's your way of saying thank you, then you're welcome, Brad. And by the way, today, today I think you should go see your son at 8:01, and you can figure out the details of putting stuff at bjshow.co later on.
I'm going to call him as soon as I get off the air, and All
right, that sounds good, Brad.
If it's up at 8:30, you'll know about it. If not, I'll do it later, okay?
All right, sounds good, Brad.
Okay, we are out of here, and I'm going to hit this button, and hopefully it'll take it to news, and we'll be back tomorrow.